Okay, so I'm back. 1 second. I made a mistake and I shared, without thinking, I shared a Google API key, which is a secret and not for you to see. So I am restarting the stream. I've restarted the stream. Let's get my guy back here.
Connected to server.
And let me restart his process, actually. You good, buddy?
Connected to server.
And let's make a mark.
Voice changed to Microsoft Mark.
There we go. Okay. We're back. Leo is my AI buddy. He reads chat and saves the chat to a message context. And the message context has the system message appended to it. The system message is a secret. I will not show it this time. There's a couple other secrets in there that I won't show. I need to remember, do not open the settings.json because it is a secret. Yeah, so where was I? I was explaining that the messages all get combined and then sent to an API, the Ollama API on my Mac, which is running on a separate computer because when you run both this and a game on this computer, the API and a game on this computer, it gets very laggy because it uses up the GPU. So that works. That this is pretty fast because the M1 Mac is actually pretty good at doing AI stuff. So we have our get response. We get the response from the API, and I'm working a little backwards, so I'm gonna go to our WebSocket server and how this works. So on connection, well, we got two servers running from here. We have the Express server, which I don't use this anymore, so I don't think I need that. I'm also doing a little refactoring and cleanup while I'm here. We have the Express server, which hosts the front end, which is right here. And this front end just shows the cat and does the speech synthesis when we receive data and rumbles the cat. So we host the front end, and then the front end has a WebSocket client, and the WebSocket client will connect to the WebSocket server on this backend. And then every 5 seconds, we do what's called handle messages. Handle messages takes the WebSocket connection, and it says checking for messages. And then checking for messages we'll do with this function called check for messages. I found some very helpful code online for connecting to YouTube Live and downloading chat messages from the video. So all I need to do is feed it the YouTube video link or ID, and then it can use the API, the Google API, to connect to that, read the chat. And then what that does is check for messages, uses the API key. We get the chat ID. This uses the video ID to get the chat ID that belongs to the video. And then we get the chat messages using the chat ID. And this just does a fetch with these things. And this returns some data, and then the data is broken down into items, display messages, author ID. We get the chat author, so I know the name of the person that sent the message. Then if author :message equals the last message, then what we're gonna do, or sorry, doesn't equal the last message, then we save the last message as that, right? So that's the message, and then we're gonna return this, and then this is the latest message. What if it is equal, because it's checking every 5 seconds, but it doesn't automatically pull. Well, it always pulls the last message, right? But it doesn't. If the last message is the same, like no one has said anything, that's what this checks. So it checks to see if the last message is the same as it was 5 seconds ago. If that's the case, then it sends, it just returns blank. If there's no messages, it's, throws an error, but that's like, I think it does this error. Yeah, can't get message. That's fine. There's no messages. Cool. So all that just gets that message in that format that we need, author : message. Check for messages, user message. And then we go console log. If user message is not an empty string, which means we know an empty string means that it's there's no new message, right? But if it's not, then there is a new message, and we go user message. We console log it out so I can read it. And then we await an AI message, and then this AI message is a function that does this, right? It pushes the... Well, first we get the response. So we run get response on the user message. Get response runs this whole thing where it adds the context and it shifts it if it needs to, if it's too long. We have all the messages. We send them to the API. We get back the message content. This is the actual message from the API. So this returns the message from the API in response to the user message. We have the response, and then we have a function called self-check. Self-check. Can I show this? I could show this. I'm not going to scroll over, but essentially it says, hey, you're an AI designed to moderate another AI. You're given a message from the user. You will be given a message from the user, and you will need to determine if the message is appropriate or not. And then blah, blah, blah. It tells it specifically reply no or yes. And from the self-check, we call the self-check. We just send all the same data, just a different set of messages. We actually... I send in two things. I send in the original user message and I send in the response. So it moderates both the initial message and the response from the AI. It doesn't do the best job, but it works usually. And then I just go, hey, if it includes no to uppercase, we uppercase the whole thing. If he said no at all, we're throwing it out. Otherwise, it's good. Because what will happen is this AI will go, I have looked at the message and no, it is not appropriate. Or sometimes it'll say yes, sometimes it'll say no, sometimes it'll go on and on. If it says no at all, even if it's like, oh, I understand, I'm supposed to reply yes or no. If it does that, I throw it out just to be safe. Because I don't want my AI saying naughty words if it doesn't have to. So if self-check returns false down here, right? Where was self-check? Check my message, AI message, response. We're using self-check somewhere. Self-check here. We await self-check. If false, we are going to go console log. It's inappropriate, skipping, and then we pop. So we pop that message off the context. The user never said it. It doesn't exist in the history anymore. Fine. We just keep moving. 5 seconds later, we get more messages. And because the last message was inappropriate, it won't be reread into the system. And yeah, that also makes it so it has like a side benefit of if you spam the same message over and over, it won't register with the AI. So that's like a little benefit, sort of. I mean, it can easily be worked around. You add exclamation points or whatever, but yeah. Self-check true though, then we say message context push the assistant response, and we're going to push the response from the system to the message context, and then we return the response. So then AI message down here, we've done our self-check. We know that it's safe. We return it. If we don't, it's just an empty string and it's whatever. But then we console log it. And then if response is not an empty string, which means the response is something, we use that WebSockets client we pass to handle messages to send the response. And because the application is so simple, I don't need to do any encoding or anything on the WebSocket. It's normally you would like build a buffer, or you might send a JSON string to your client and then break that JSON string, like once it gets to the client, read it in as JSON, like parse it, whatever. Stringify. Is it called parsify? JSON parse, I think, is what it is. You would normally do that. I don't do that here. It's just a plain string. So then on the other side, all this does, and it didn't always work this way. I used to use a convoluted set of REST calls, but it's not effective. It doesn't work every time. On this side, I do on message, which is literally anything. I do a show pop-up, and this could be renamed. I'm actually gonna rename it. Yeah. Let's rename it to handle message. So on message, we get an event, and the event has data, and this is just the string of the message that the AI is going to say. Then we handle the message, and we set loading to false. This is this used anywhere? I'm surprised this doesn't say loading isn't read anywhere. I'm getting a message. Oh, it's my dad. Okay. Weird. Okay, so it's used in 2 places, but I'm not doing anything with it, so I'm gonna delete it. All right, a little bit of refactoring. So we go showing is true. This is a little bit of what this is based on. This original application was based on a different project I had where I was doing a shrimp stream, and there would be a little shrimp that pops up and gives shrimp facts. And the shrimp facts would either be from the computer, like a list of shrimp facts, or if you talk to it, it would talk back and tell you about shrimps. So you'll see show facts, which I don't think is being used anywhere anymore. I'm going to delete that. And showing is probably... Showing might not be used either. There's so many things I cut out. So it's just, yeah, showing equals false after 1 second. But hide pop-up is this, and removing rumble is really what does it. So removing rumble is what makes the guy stop animating. When in the previous code, showing would be like the chat box would show and then hide. So now it's a little different. We don't have any fun facts that need to show. And the pop-up is actually... I'm going to keep the pop-up. I could rename it. But the pop-up is the cat now. Or no, let's do a find on it. And let's rename this to message ended. and pop up. Oh, hide pop up. We're gonna do message ended. But really, it's check message ended. We're gonna check message ended every 100 milliseconds, and that lets me just like stop rumbling the guy if we're done talking. So I'm gonna rename this to character, I think. So we got character, 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 and then up here in styles, we're gonna call this character, and then we're good there. Fun facts. Character on click, and then so this is a little function I have if I need to stop it from talking early. I can do this forces it to stop talking, and then I can check message ended to make it do its thing. Make it stop rumbling. So the character is not rumbling. We have gotten rid of fun facts completely, so I can delete this style that's taking up space on the file. Collapse that just because it's too big, and code is cleaned up. And let's make sure he still runs if I refresh.
Connected to server.
He's doing his
Voice
thing.
changed.
Voice changed to Michael. Yeah, so we're working now. It's still working. All right, so what I wanted to do, and actually I gotta restart this too because I made some changes here. So let's see if I restart that server, can it still connect?
Connected to server.
Voice changed to Microsoft Mark.
Voice change to Microsoft Mark. Oh, gotta text the wife. She is going shopping. Everyone is texting me right now. All right. So we've got our guy. He is he should be live. Let's see if he's online. So how are you doing? Are you online? And then you can see my message pop up there. It is calculating. It takes, I don't know, 5 to 10 seconds usually.
JPG Live, I'm doing great, thanks for asking. Yeah, I'm fully online and ready to rock this chat.
Yep.
What's on your mind today?
So there he goes. Okay, he's good. Let's get voice activation working or something like that. I need to do a little research here. There's like an AI thing called Whisper. So Whisper is an open source AI model from OpenAI that can transcribe speech into text and translate non-English languages to English. Okay. If it's open source, I should be able to get it, but I have my doubts about that. We'll see. Hold on one second. Okay. So let's let me check my volumes here again. All right, I think my volumes are good. What I'm gonna do is look up if I can get Whisper. All right, let's look up Transformers JS maybe speech to text, Was yeah, speech to text, I guess. Speech to text. It's a model proposed by Web GPU accelerated real-time in-browser speech recognition. That could be good. Fully on device, real time. Doesn't seem to be real time when I tried it. Seems to be transcribing in increments of 10 to 30-second intervals. Works great on Chrome. I'm reading a Reddit post, by the way, right now. Let's see how he did it. He has a couple of things here. He built like a whole application. I don't really need a whole application. I just need an implementation of it. But it's called Transformers.js speech recognition. I've had some trouble getting Transformers.js to actually work. Like that's why for the actual AI stuff, that's why I'm using Ollama, because it's just much more efficient than trying to get Transformers to work. And I have managed to get it to work, but it's been very slow. I think I can get, I don't know. I'm trying to decide if it'd be faster on the browser or in Node. Node is where I need the message. Like on the server side. Yeah, in app.js, not index.html. Node is where I need to get the message. And I don't want to send messages encoded back just because I like this setup where it's very clean, where the front end just listens to the server. It doesn't try to do anything. So hopefully we can get that going. But the browser has, I think the browser has the APIs to listen to the microphone a little easier. The Mac, it went to sleep. Wake up. There we go. Okay. I don't know, man. They're using a WAV file. There's definitely going to be more examples of transcribing audio in real time on the front end. Let's, I don't know. Let's give it a try, I guess. I gotta close some tabs here. There is a way. I do not want to start bundling my application. Am I already bundling my application? I'm not. Okay. I could. I don't necessarily want to start bundling my application though, because I messed with bundlers and I found it just makes debugging hard. So let's not do that. I gotta look up how to new tab transformers JS CDN. There's a way to do it, get it by CDN. I want to make sure I have the most up-to-date version of that. Okay. We do. I do. So we have our script. This script is everything I need for processing the audio. Let's do this. Let's add a new script. And underneath the cat, I'm just going to add a text area. It's an ID. It's way ahead of me. Transcripts. I don't want to display none. I just want to have the transcripts. And we are going to const yeah. So we're just gonna do that. We're gonna try to get the voice, and we're gonna output it in here in the text area. So let's do that. Google AI is trying to help me here. I don't know that it can, but it's gonna try. So maybe I'm thinking here. Let's do this. Let's copy paste our code. We get the transcriber, returns the transcriber. With the transcriber, we can what does it suggest next actually? Transcribe audio, audio buffer. Dun, 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 dun. Maybe, I don't know. What does this do? Is it gonna write everything for me? Probably not. I don't know what the media recorder stream is gonna do. I don't even know if that's a real thing. It listens for 5 seconds? Sure, fuck it, why not? Key down, I guess. Key equals space, so audio, new audio, source audio.wave. That makes no sense. Yeah, this is confused at this point, right? That makes no sense. I'm not going to use any of that yet. This probably doesn't even make sense. I only really trust this so far, because we got our create pipeline, and we have this, and let's, yeah, I did see something that I liked. Let's do this. Record. So we got a record button. Let's actually have it disabled at first, and then we'll say record button, and yeah, we actually need this towards the top. So record button disabled will be false, so it'll enable the button when this is done, and we have our transcriber ready. And yeah, on click. That can't be right. That, I don't, is that even a thing? We're gonna look that up. Speech recognition. There is a thing. There's a thing that does speech recognition. Should I try that first, actually? That might be good. Let's not do continuous. Yeah, I don't know about that. That is interesting. So this won't use any of this stuff. So actually, let's try this first. Let's see what happens. Right, because if this works well enough, so we just have our record button. Here, I'm just gonna say record button disabled equals false for now. Remove later. Okay, so record button on click. We're gonna start speech recognition. This probably won't work. Don't know what this does. It's fine. Start. This is probably all just copy pasted from the documentation. Let's see what happens. Let me share my screen here. We'll share Chrome. And I'll move it down to there. All right. And let's connect to localhost. There we go. Allow every time. All right, is this working? Is this even using the right microphone? What microphone is this trying to use? What microphone is this going to try to use? We need... I need to know. You remember in Windows 7 there used to be like a voice recording thing, and I feel like that's what this is gonna be, but hopefully it's better than it used to be. It used to be pretty awful. Open sound settings. I fucking hate these new sound settings. All right. My Scarlett Solo is the input. Is this working? Oh, wow. That's actually working pretty well. Holy shit. Is that actually working? Is this gonna work or not? Do I have to hold it down? Testing, testing. Are you there? How long will this work? It doesn't work. Oh, what happened? Did it throw an error? No. Oh. I forgot the cat's background is blue, so let's move this to the bottom. Hello? How did it work that one time? It worked one time and then stopped. Hello? Is this gonna work? Are you working? Hello? Hello? Come on. Come on, man, do something. All right. So that's acting a little funky. Let's look at the code. Maybe I'm probably being dumb. So on results, we just get the transcript and let's just do continuous true, right? So let's say it's always listening. On result, we're always going to add it to the transcript. Hello, this is a test of the transcripts. It should be working. I have a feeling it should be working. And actually, I'm going to say record button dot, is it inner text? Shoot, what is it? It really is just inner text. I think it just doesn't want to tell me. Inner text equals recording. And actually, no, I'll just change it to stop. If inner text equals stop. Recognition, which is not set yet. Do we do that? Let recognition equals that. Stop. And recognition. Then we stop it. On results, and then let's actually clear. No, I think that's okay. This just redeclares it. All right. Hello, is this working? Are you listening? Does this need to be allowed to work explicitly or anything? Oh, I'm not sharing the screen. Sorry. So let's share Chrome. And you can see it's not working yet. And actually, let me, just to make sure. Oh, well, it does say stop, so it must have started. And let's console log event results, just in case it's like outputting something somewhere else. All right, so the audio listener, the transcript listener must not be working, right? And I wonder if it's like I switched microphones, but then it just switched it back. That is exactly what happened. I need to get rid of something here. So I've got this application, this voice changing application, That does not work. And I need to uninstall it because it is annoying as hell. It keeps changing my inputs. And I know I'm getting distracted here, but I'm just going to get this out of the way. Uninstalling, get rid of it. It literally keeps changing my, yeah. It keeps changing my microphone to the wrong microphone. So while it was working previously, it switched and then stopped working. So this should be working right now. Look at that. Oh, nice. So it can tell when I'm done talking. Look at that. That is so cool. So on result is final is when it's going to print out the whole thing, right? That works so freaking well. Why would I even bother with AI? This is awesome. I love web APIs. Look at that, man. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is if the message is less than 2 words, I'm going to assume it's a bug and not send that. But if the message is bigger than if it's bigger than 2 words, then it's probably good enough to send to the backend as a message. How does that work so well, man? Oh my goodness. Okay, so that is awesome. Now, one question is going to be, does this work in OBS? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check that now. Oh, can I stop listening? I have no way to restart it. Or maybe I do, but the code isn't correct. If inner text equals stop. Maybe I didn't refresh. All right, so it's working. Can I stop recording? No, why? If inner text triple equals stop, oh, okay. It's because every time I click the button, it reinstantiates recognition, so I need to have that actually outside of the click. All right, so now if I hit record, this should work. And if I hit stop, it should stop. And then I should be able to keep recording. And that is so cool. So what I want to do I know it's working. I only want to show the results in the transcript if it's final. So here we go. Final result. Don't want to do this yet, but I appreciate your enthusiasm. transcript value, we're going to set it there. And we're going to hide this. So I'm going to console log it, but I'm only going to show the results if it is finalized. And we're going to see what that looks like. Hello, how are you doing? Oh, result is not defined. My bad. Let's do result. All right, so result wasn't defined, and just to show you what I did, I accidentally deleted this constant, which is based on the event results. So yeah, that is the word, and then result is final should be, I don't know if this is gonna work. We're console logging the whole result. I think results is an array of results, if that makes sense. So let's see if that works. So we should see stuff console logging, but it shouldn't show up until I'm done talking. Is this working correctly? Okay, it looks like this is working correctly. And that is so cool. I cannot believe how well that works. Okay, so now that we have voice recognition working a lot easier than I expected, we can just send this to the backend somehow. All right. Is it possible to have... Is it possible for JavaScript to listen to direct inputs on a global scale? So I don't want on key down on the window. I really want it in the entire system. That, yeah, that might actually not be possible because it's not elevated to the system level, right? If, yeah, if you could do this, it would be a keylogger, right? You just, people would have tabs open and it would just be logging everything. Now this working without being in the system is awesome. Or without being in the window. This works without me focusing on it. Yeah, that's crazy. Let's see if, let me share my screen for a second. And it's a little small. Fit to screen. Okay. So I have this here, and what I want to do is I want to see if he's listening. If I refresh this,
Connected to server.
interact, this is going to be hard to see. Can I click on that? Almost, somewhere around here. Okay, I gotta remove this filter effect because it's making it too difficult. So let's get rid of this and this. And I should be able to interact with it now. All right, are you listening? You are not listening. How can I get you to listen? Can I grant you permissions? if I right click on it, there are no permissions. Center, click, interact.
Voice changed to Microsoft Mark, English. Voice changed to
Oh, did I break?
Voice changed to Microsoft.
I thought maybe I broke it. Let's close this out so it's not listening, and then maybe that will free this one up to listen.
Connected to server.
It does still rumble, so that's good. That's what I was wondering is like, did I break the rumbling? All right, are you able to listen to me, Leo? Hello? Are you working? No. Can you grant OBS browser rights? I'll just share my whole screen for now because I don't think there's going to be anything. OBS browser. Listen to microphone. Can we do that? To enable OBS browser source to listen to your microphone, you need to grant microphone permissions to the browser within, blah, blah, blah. This is fine. It says you may get a prompt. I do not. Extend web audio access to microphone input. You can append it on to the OBS executable and it will pass it. Okay, so let's do that. Enable media stream. This is going to require me to restart OBS. But let's see. So we have that. Can I add properties onto here? I forget how to do this. Details, security. Advanced? No. I might need like a... I need a refresher. Windows, how to start application with, what do they call it? Flags. I don't want to open the command prompt. I want a shortcut. Create a shortcut to the exe. That is what I want to do. I want to create a shortcut. How to create a shortcut with parameters. Target. Properties. Target after the quotations and then the flag. All right, let's give that a shot. So properties, target, enable media stream. Okay, continue. I shall return. I hope this doesn't end the broadcast.